You are welcome to Unleashed, a Voice of a Generation with your host, Shalon Nyankubito. Thank you very much for walking this journey with us, for subscribing, for sharing, for being by our side. We really appreciate that. This episode is sponsored by Ovia Interiors and Looks by Shalon. Your best eyewear plug and jewelry, and then furniture, you could kindly reach out to them. The contact will be on the screen. Now today, I am very, very excited. I have someone that has been inspiring me. Her voice is indeed for a generation. I love the way she does her things. I've been following her on social media. She's none other than Shamim Nabakoza. We are very glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am glad to be here.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Pleasure.
Yes. You could kindly introduce yourself to the viewers.
I think there's not so much introduction of me.
Yes.
It is me, Shamim Nabakoza. That is me. I am a news anchor. I am a reporter. I love people. I care about people. I'm passionate about issues that affect people. I think that is me.
Wow. And that is why this podcast is really here. Those that have watched, I'm sure people have watched your story, Live at 9, Sunrise, that reports issues about parliament. So she's really inspirational to our generation, and her story is worth listening to. I feel like the youths out there are also excited.
I hope they like it.
Yes. How was when most people see you here, they feel like you just dropped. Like, that's how God made you. I mean, but there is a story behind that. Could you briefly tell us about your education journey? So that someone in your school could know that I can also become a Shamim Nabakoza.
I think my education journey is a normal journey.
Yes.
Even my life story is a normal journey, like any other person. It's a story of, I think it's a story of any normal family, not the so-called middle-income families or what. I don't know where to start and I don't know where to start, but I went to a Catholic school for my primary school in Kayunga. It's called Kayunga Girls' School. It's actually where even my grandmother studied. Wow. It's a very old school for the Catholic Church, and anybody would know. I mean, how my grandmother would study the Catholic Church.
Isn't she Muslim?
No, she's not. She is finally, but she was studying in a Catholic school at the convent. And so I studied in the same school at Kayunga Girls Primary School. Yes, by the time I studied, it was a mixed school. It was not a single school like she did. And I studied here in Chambogo College for my 6 years of study. I then went to Nkumba University in Entebbe. I did a bachelor in mass communication and journalism. And yes, that has been my journey of the formal education. The other things are trainings and what, those that we have done, yes.
Now, you know, most people, for example, our generation, you feel like to make it, you must be in particular schools, or you've had a particular background. You're like a planned kid. I don't know if you've heard about that. Fair. This one is a planned kid. So most people are out there, and someone wants to be like a news reporter. They see you on TV. I personally wanted to become that, but there's some limitations. So if a person hears that you're from Kayunga, then Kumba, I think it really resonates around what they're really doing right now and where they are, and it could inspire them that regardless of where you are right now, you could actually make it. Did you see yourself being a media personality, or you just...
I think it was destiny for me, because maybe for those that grew with me in my very, very early days, maybe they would not think about it. Maybe equally I would not think about it, and that's in my lower school. But for those that studied with me at Chambogo here, at Chambogo College, they knew we were in debate and writers. My friends, the Caros, the Sherrys, the Shivans, they know. We were debate and writers. I was Miss Wildlife and President Wildlife. And then we were doing the magazine, Herald magazine, which was in Chambogo.
The Herald I had about.
Yes. And I mean, my president, who was my best friend at that time, Carol, was president, debate and writers, and I was her deputy.
Yeah.
And so we managed the magazine. And so during our tenure, actually in leadership at Chambogo College, we introduced news anchoring. From then, it has been that. I think it's the only thing I knew at my inception of understanding in my lower secondary. Yeah. And I think it informed me all through. And it's what I wanted to do, because it was the two choices for me. I was either doing this that I loved so much, looking at the nurses here from within the country, looking at the Biras, looking at the Rukshanas, the people that, I mean, these are the people that we were seeing here. So it was simply that for me. So we're doing news anchoring, the things I do today, except we are formal, except we have guidelines and so much. Yes. They're the things we did at college, except we were not going to the field and what, but we were gathering news on different sites and come and read the news on the assembly.
Yes.
I mean, a big school like Chambogo is, and we're doing that. So for me, the journey itself, I think it was meant to be.
And those are really big schools. But for a person who is deep there,
I don't think these are big schools. These are schools that anybody has had chance to attend. Right. And it's not about the school where you studied.
True.
We're in an environment of leaders like President Museveni that were underprivileged at a certain point. I mean, they were not rich.
Yes.
So they never went to the best of schools. Probably for him, he went to Nyakasura and the others. But maybe because at that time, there was affordability. But before that, what happened?
I think because I have a friend of mine who actually tells me many a times that she feels like she can't make it. In this country, she can't make it anywhere because of the schools she went to, because of the environment she grew in, because of her family. So many a times I find myself trying to like inspire her, but then I also look at myself, you're also still trying to get there. So you people that are already there, maybe when you tell us something, maybe that's when someone can really grasp it, because you are already there. So
it's not even that you are already anywhere, because I mean, the ambitions you have as a person, have you fulfilled them? Have you lived up to them yet? Is that where you want to be? Should it be is it the epitome of everything that you want to be as a person? Certainly not. But because you have hope in you, because you have an ambition that you are chasing, because you are intentional about that dream, about what you want to be as a person, you keep putting in the work. You reach out to the people that you think could help, people that have held our hands, and not people that have been extremely privileged. No. Not any day. But people will hold your hand because they realize you are in for it. What you want to do, you are genuine about your future. You're genuine about what you as a person want to achieve.
I think most times someone could have they know what they want to become, but then there's a lot of comparisons. For example, on social media, you look at someone in the same age group and you see their life and you're like, how will I even get there? I mean, look at someone who is 21, they already have a house, they're driving the best cars there. So many a time someone ends up giving up.
So just because do you ever get to ask, how did they get the house? Is it actually their house? Is it inheritance? Has he ever worked? Do they know what it means to toil and earn something? Those are totally different things. Being privileged does not take away the fact that you learn to work, because there are many privileged people, children here in Kampala, that actually work their nerves to the, I don't even know, to the maximum of it. But they are privileged. But because they are nurtured to realize that even what you have has to be made better. There has to be continuous improvement of it. There's no single day that you'll be contented about certain things. You can't be. You'll say, probably, thank God, I've gotten this. I pray, I keep it, and improve this. Because you can't be contented. And that whole thing of, I studied here, and studied where, and I am underprivileged, and I don't come from this family. I think the setup of, I think the political setup has had an impact on us. think I cannot be excluded because this is our generation.
Yeah.
The things that we keep seeing, the way how people get jobs, how people do not recruit people into government offices, maintaining positions for their children. If that's the kind of information you keep seeing every day, it's understandable that probably at heart you get to feel like probably life might not be what you would expect, or maybe you cannot have a pass through. But all of us have a journey. It's only God that knows how our footsteps are going to work like. It is simply that. So if there's something for me, in fact, what I believe in is, if anything I am interested in, and I have conviction on that, and I know I want that, I will have to deal with it. But because, maybe not all of us have that. Not all of us comfort ourselves that way. Maybe some people get... I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe when a storm hits, we all come out differently. There are those that come out with the bruises that take the entire life out of them. There are those that will understand that actually it had to be. It was part of my journey.
Yes.
It is just part. So I have to move through that step. There's another head. Maybe it's good, maybe another fight to deal with. But there's life at the end of it all. For me, that's how I look at life. It's not about what you see. Yes, today things can look like they cannot work.
Yes.
All of us have been through that.
And I think actually coming from you yourself, that actually draws inspiration. Because most people, me myself, when I look at you, when you look at someone on TV, you feel like they don't have challenges. They have their lives all together. Because you see that happy face, you don't know what actually happens behind the camera. So it's just that everyone has challenges. I think
people have to understand.
Yes.
What you see on social media or any of the platforms online is content.
It's true.
It's not life.
Wow.
It's basically content. What's the intention of content? For one, it might be to draw a particular narrative.
Yes.
For another, it might be to show you that this is the life I live. For another, it's about the audience they have.
Yes, and I think now...
For you, what you take for a feeling is audience or business for someone.
I think most people now have used social media as their CVs. So someone is building their CV, so they're not going to bring out the other part of their lives. Maybe the people around them are the ones that know what actually a person is going through. So you've just seen social media and you're depressed. I have had friends that have deleted TikTok. They're like, I can't, like the pressure is too much. Every time I turn to TikTok, I'm seeing people's lives are moving on. And then me, I'm stressed, I'm depressed. And then there's no one that really could understand other than just put me on pressure. So
I think one has to understand what they need with each of the platforms. I know almost everybody is on TikTok. I don't know how many, it might be maybe in a billion or billions. I don't know how many people subscribe there. But at the end of it all, what do you need there? Is it you showing what you feel every other person is showing? Is it you copying the content? Is it you trying to move with the trends? Is it you learning from the platform? I'll tell you, I am not on TikTok. I have never joined TikTok. But I like TikTok for one thing. The platforms that I want to learn from, the TRTs, the BBCs, how they repurpose content or how they deal with content for each of the platforms. You want to learn it from TikTok.
From TikTok, sure.
But do you have an alternative? I realize I can have an alternative on Instagram. So I can have their TikTok that is designed both for Instagram and designed for TikTok. There. Alternatively, I can look for it elsewhere. Because unless you can tame yourself, and you know how much you can deal with certain things, that's what you have to deal with. I think people need to understand. Meanwhile, it's about being intentional on what you want. Because you can't. How?
I think someone you just want to relax. And then everything comes on a silver.
And you relax in which country?
In Uganda. Because most people say, those people that are on social media, they get a lot of money. So you don't need to put in the effort.
What people do, me, I pay attention to how people, especially in our age group, people, youth like myself,
Yes.
how they live like. You're stressing about someone who posts today, they are at a certain big hotel.
Yes.
Tomorrow they're having, maybe the same day they're having lunch here, they're having dinner there, they're having coffee somewhere. Are you sure they're doing those things? I have been in spaces where you see people, where you see someone take pictures in different formats because they have to keep updating. These pictures are for today. Huh?
Oh,
Tomorrow. Sometimes like I look back at people and I'm like, no, Shamim, there's what you can't afford.
yeah.
You can only afford to live life the way you live it. I can't be taking pictures like any other person. Today I'm taking a picture in this form.
It's from
The other form, because I'm going to post them on different days to show people that I have been in different places.
Yes.
No, it's not necessary. You don't need to prove to the world what you can do or how happy you are. What do they owe you? Do you owe them anything?
No. I think maybe some people just want to show that they are doing well. That even someone is not doing fine. The people that are
Which people have they demanded that you show them are doing well?
No. Wow.
I don't demand that you show them that you're doing well. Okay.
Yes.
For me, has anybody demanded to show me how I live? It's because I don't have to give them accountability. The accountability that anybody in Uganda demands of me is to give them accurate news. Simply, truthful.
Yeah.
Is to bring them something as is. They don't owe me an explanation of who is in my life, of which house I live in, of how I dress and where I buy clothes. People don't care meanwhile about that.
True.
It's none of their business. Yeah. But if you want to take to them that as your business, they are open to receive it. And so they will take that of you. If it's simply not that.
I think with some people they're always themselves on social media. So what you see and you just want to some people want to compete, not knowing that what someone is putting out on. Yes.
It's an illusion. I'm careful about the words I want.
Yes. You told me something last time. You told me that someone could mess up the English, but with information. You have to be right with this.
How do you want to tell me?
Yeah.
That you want to prove to somebody that you eat chicken every day, so that they share the chicken,
so that they know you're that level.
What happens?
Then they can know how important you are, or relevant you are to them.
People must know that all of us struggle, even including those that have money.
Yes.
People that have money continue to work. Why? If you think they can't afford to sleep in the great hotel or to wake up at 10 a.m. Why do they keep working? Or you think their demands to meet other people's demands are the reason they wake up? No. You must have a purpose in life. That's what drives them.
Yeah. I think most people now, for example, people that are at campus, sometimes you feel like I have to wait until I am done with campus to then look for something that could bring in income, money. Not showing that you can do that at campus. You could have something to sell. You could set up while you're young, not just because you're done.
You cannot wait for campus. You cannot. Myself, I started working. I never had, senior 6 holiday is long.
Yes.
I had a holiday of 1 week. I had a holiday
in the 6 months. Are they
1 week? The next day, I'd gone for training.
Wow.
And meanwhile, it was sales. And I got money. For me to go to campus, I was already working and I was just not so ready to leave the job. That's why I could not study in the university in Mukola. My intention was to study where I can work as I study. So there are many things that you can try out on, except that people have learned. There's a certain sort of environment created around people to make them feel that probably you are a good-looking woman, you can't do this job, or probably this job is too draining. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand that you have to pick from somewhere. I mean, you're not going to wake up today, unless if your father created a company for you to wake up and you're the director, or to wake up and you are the corporate affairs. Maybe so. But when your dad wants the company to grow, he will go and hire somebody.
True. Yeah. So she wanted to be adopted.
She wanted something like that. And then my brothers, I remember them coming as if they had really serious business to do with me. Then coming and then saying, you know what, maybe you study. One of my brothers studied teaching. I think, I don't know if that's how they both studied education. Teaching, that was the job. He was a teacher of mathematics. So they said I do education or accounts. Education for a reason, but in his mind, thought it was easy for me to get the job. Fortunately, I was not ready to agree.
There's a lot of now me. I'm also.
I
I
was
think
not
I'm using
ready.
myself as an example.
I was not ready to agree. I told them, this is what I want to study. I can do it in Mukono, or I can do it in Entebbe. I realized Mukono did not have a program of the weekend. Entebbe had a program of the weekend. And one of my grandfathers, Professor Matolo, was a lecturer there. And I mean, he got me material to know that they actually have a weekend program. We can study. There are other people there studying the weekend program. I was the only undergraduate in the class. Most of the people were upgrading what and what. But it was worth it. The sense in me studying what I want is that I will know how to do it. But also, maybe it speaks to what my destiny is.
And how were you able to persuade your parents? Because
I talked to them. Because they gave me a chance to talk. They agreed that actually they thought there was something better. I think it's not even a conversation that we have ever had again. we have not had it again ever since. We talked. They asked me whether it's what I wanted to study, whether I could not reconsider. I told them to give me a chance. And they gave me the chance. They allowed me to study what I wanted to study.
Now that there's someone out there and their parents actually refused. Me being an example to journalism. And my parents said, no, I can't put in my money. I can't give you my money to study journalism. I mean, most people are always tear gas, they're always on the, but that's what I really wanted.
You understand their emotion. You understand their feeling of the job. Yes, it's a hard job. Yes, the occupation hazards are more than necessary.
Yes.
They can be. But it's also for individuals to do. And it's a very sensitive industry. Only those that feel can deal with it will be in there.
Now, what would be like your advice to someone out there that feels like they lost out on an opportunity to pursue their career? That are in a space where they actually didn't want to be in just because of the situation.
That space, you can leverage on that space and actually move with what you want. I'll tell you today, what I would want to go back to study will not be journalism.
Yeah.
Okay? Because your mindset changes over time. You realize that you might need to think more, not about your feeling, but about how strategically you want your life to go. You might have studied totally different. Because I have my friend, Carol. Both of us wanted to do journalism. She was my president. For the better and right, as her deputy. We moved. She went again and did accounting at Chamberlain University because her parents felt like she needed to study accounting. Midway, she thought no longer possible. They gave her a chance, thankfully, to study at St. Lawrence or where. I don't remember very well. They gave her a chance to study what she wanted. But if at all you have been able to achieve education, you can leverage on what you study. Probably, if you feel the other career you never studied, is what you are meant to do. What you're doing today will lead you to bed. Probably it's where you're going to get the tuition to pay for yourself. Because at this age, I don't know who is going to pay tuition for the things that you feel or wish to have, except if the people that have chosen to move life with you. So, it's never the end of it all if you don't achieve what you wanted to achieve, or if you don't study what you wanted to study. There's a time for you to study that. I don't think anybody would have told me to study diplomacy, or even to study anything else in my earlier days, and I would understand. But today you're thinking about, okay, if I do this, study this, if I studied this, the addition is here. You're able to understand. And also, that's how you see. If you see people's CVs today, you look at a lawyer. First, he's a lawyer. The next thing they have studied is public administration. The next thing they have studied, the accountants. Tomorrow they are going to study public relations. Where was their heart? Maybe you might not know, but life has taught them gradual change and growth.
How do you then manage to maintain your authenticity versus the branding?
I think you don't have to prove to anybody. You just have to do the right thing. The business of news that we deal with is not for showing off. It's for the reality. It's not for you to do things that probably could just pull the crowds. How do you pull a crowd and kill a nation? It's not what it demands for. It demands for... The job we do is part of those that think for the nation. Because it is part and parcel of building a nation. How you do it is what is more critical, because you will choose. It's a delicate job. You will choose between building the nation that you want to see and killing a nation that probably could stand chance, or even causing the worst that could ever be. So you need to know that actually what you are dealing with is information. It builds and kills. It will create you, it will make you diminish. It's very delicate. A little dis or misinformation will put down a nation. So how do you job with it? So you are investing in every day. You are investing in the information, investing on understanding how countries work, investing in a lot of things. Because it's a job of continuous understanding how it works. It does not have, there shouldn't be lapse in time. You must be part of everything as it does happen. It is the job.
One listening to this and they're really feeling you're in that time where you're not motivated, because there's those times that come in, those seasons that come in where one feels depressed. We're in that area where there's a lot of mental health issues. Someone that is feeling really low and they just need just a word of inspiration. How would be that word to them?
Let people know that trying is the business. Because in trying is when you make things happen for your life. But also, the things that happen to us happen to everybody. All of us get depressed. All of us lack. All of us feel like maybe we do not deserve at a certain point. We don't measure up to what maybe society would have. All that happens. But it's not what defines life. Those are things that get to build our lives. Those are things, all of us have been at our lowest when we feel this life could be actually normal, where you feel that actually it does not count and it can hurt and hurt deeply. Those things happen. It will have to happen. You just have to understand that there are things or phases or seasons in your life that will have to happen. You will live without. People will betray you, because those are things that destroy women or people over time. You will lack. You will be to the maximum of having nobody around you. But there'll be somebody someday. There'll be people that come for you. You have to pray about your life. There are things that you have to continue doing as a person. You need to understand that actually before somebody stands in for you, you will have to stand in for yourself. Not on any single day will anybody come through to you before they get to understand that probably, or even to see you trying so much in life. Again, like I said, people that have held our hands, they are not our siblings. They are not so many things to us. But because maybe God guided them to help us, because they have seen us try, because somebody will see you and will see what you want of your future through your eyes, through the things you are doing. So for me, it's about trying every other day. We are not perfect people. We can never be perfect people. It might hurt to the max. But if you believe what you want to do is what life holds for you, you just have to fulfill it. It is life. People might tell us, people tell us different things. Where you are not, agree that advice is enough. It is simply that. It will hold you and accept facts about your life. If you're not born in a privileged family, agree you are not. But the destiny of yours lies in your hands. Your life is here. The balance of what you keep holding on to, what you keep adding on your life as a person, the things that you keep doing are what will define you and the generation after you. Probably of your children. You can no longer, you can only impact on your parents because of what will have changed on your life. But there's not so much you will do if you cannot deal with what the realities of every day look like. Simply that.
I myself am already, this has uplifted me. And while you're speaking, I just try to look back at your young self. If you looked at the young Shamim, what would be that thing you would tell her?
I don't know. The young self or
Yes.
version of me.
Yeah.
In my what? In my below 25?
Below. Oh, you look like you're just 23. You look so, you look very nice.
Thank you.
Like while at campus, those years.
Well, I think me at campus I was a very focused guy.
Very focused. Okay,
Not because indeed there was a line drawn for me.
Yeah.
But how our life is shaped gives us direction. And I think it's God's guidance. I don't think I was one of the best children or children that were, whose lines were drawn so much as they were very much drawn. Our life is different. I think we have to hold dear our life. A lot of distractions are part of it. Let's make ourselves ready. That's what we can say, because even when you stay for 100 years, I will not have clocked 100. I might have, or even stand chance to replace you. So, it's simply that. Let people be intentional about their lives. Let life be dear to you, because it's one. When you have something that tests your life, something that actually threatens to take your life, is when you realize how much it actually matters.
Thank you for working with us this journey from the beginning to this very end. We are very honored, Shamim, once again.
Thank you.
To have you for your time.
I'm glad. Sometimes we hardly speak about our lives. We hardly speak about so many things that surround us. But life is real. It's not what perception has. Let's leave it that.
Thank you very much. Once again, I'm just reminding you to kindly look out for Looks by Shalon and Ovia Interiors, because your support means so much to Unleashed Voice of a Generation. The more you support them, the more we'll be able to bring for you different episodes. Thank you once again. Let's meet in the comment section. Kindly follow, look out for Shamim Nabakoza on her Instagram, on her X. Yes, she's there. Facebook rarely, but she also she's there. She's not on TikTok. All right. Thank you very much. Until then, bye.